Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be working on the M3, as you can see behind me. Now the outside of the car is looking pretty good. We've done quite a lot on this, but today we're going to focus on the inside. More notably, something that you only see from the back seats. Now it's not actually anything to do with the back seats, and no, we're not adding a cage, even though I would really like to do that. And no, we're probably not even fixing this issue here. So the reason with this and why I haven't actually fixed it is because there's like a little sort of wire that comes in here, and that's what actually makes the mechanism fold the seat forward. It's a nightmare to get out with, because you're pulling obviously tension on it right now. So I don't know how I'd get it back in, and I did think I could just leave it undone because, well, I don't really need the function to work in this car because, I mean, we've got back doors. But yeah, without taking this off, I can't unscrew this and get this section off and paint these both. So yeah, that's why it's still silver. Like when I originally got these seats, they were silver. I painted these black, and then obviously you can see at the front, I painted them red, and most likely I will be going back to black soon just because it is a cleaner look and I just think it looks a bit nicer. But none of that is what we are working on, and we are actually working on the fabric that's on the back of the seats. It's like an Alcantara, as you can see here, but it is, and it shows really well on camera, it's basically purpley burgundy sort of color. It is not black. It should be black. When I bought the seats, this was already done, so yeah, it just doesn't match. Like, all this Alcantara here is black, the front of the seats is black, this is not. So we're going to try our best to actually fix this today, or at least make it look better, because I don't really see it at all, so that's why I've left it for so long, just because I don't see it. But if you're in the back and you have anyone in the back, it does look a bit weird, and, well, I mean, no one's really mentioned it, but yeah, I know it's there, so it's time to fix it, I think. Or at least try to fix it. So the way I want to try and fix this is not by replacing it, but that obviously would be an option and might have to be an option depending on how this video goes. But basically I want to see if I can try and dye or paint it. And I'm going to be using this product here, which I got off of Amazon, and it says it's a paint for all fabrics. So this is a fabric and this is paint, so this should work. Now, I've never done anything like this before, so we're going to see how this turns out. It might turn out terrible, but I'm just hoping that it turns out slightly darker, and if it looks just, you know, even slightly closer to being black, I'll be happy. I don't need it to be jet black or anything. I just want something that's a bit darker and less purpley looking. Now, obviously, I am not going to do this inside the car because I might make a massive mess with that. So we need to get these seats out of the car. It's pretty easy, actually. There's only 4 bolts, and then these seats just come out. So yeah, let's get on with that. Using a 17mm wrench, we can get this off. They're not too tight because I have actually loosened them off already, but there is only 4 of these. We just need to take them off, and then we can actually remove this fire extinguisher as well. That just slides off out of the way. Let's actually pop off this fire extinguisher just now to get it out of the way and keep it from getting damaged. And with that out of the way, we can see this bolt over here. Let's get that out. Second bolt out, and now we can move this fire extinguisher bracket out of the way. Let's move the seat forward and we can move the bolts at the back. You can clearly see that there is a bolt over there, and then there's one just off camera down here, which I'll show you in a second once I get this one out. Now we're on to this last bolt, which is just down here, and that'll come off nice and easily. Now we've got all 4 bolts out of this seat. It can freely move, so we will need to try and take this whole thing out through the front door, and well, that's how I remember putting it in. I don't think I did it through the back door, but we might have to. I'm pretty sure it was the front door though. And I am just noticing now that there's actually one bit that I forgot to do. Is it a good walk? Yes. The bit that I forgot to do is actually to do with the seat belt. So on this car, the seat belt actually attaches into the seat frame. So I have screwed it in down here, which is with a little hole that I tapped and everything. I think there's a video on me originally doing this, but I might need to kind of redo and explain it properly again. But yeah, let's get this bolt out, and then we can get the seatbelt off, and then we can get this seat out. With a T50 on our ratchet, we just need to try and push this seat over to prop it up enough, and then unscrew this to loosen it off. And there we have it. That is this little bolt off, and now we can get the seat out freely. Both seats are now out of the car and ready to get prepped. First off, we want to give them a light clean. They shouldn't be too dirty, but there is spots like here, which I think is some glue from originally when they got fitted, but I'm not sure. Anyway, we need to try and give it a good clean, so it's just a little bit nicer for the paint to stick, and then we can go into that stage. The way I'm going to clean these is using just a generic alcohol cleaner. I've just got it in this bottle here, and then a cloth. So I'm just going to spray it on here as to not saturate the fibre too much because I want it to dry quite quickly. Luckily it is a warm enough day that it should do, but basically I'm just going to go over it and give it a good wipe down like this and then let it dry. Whilst the seats dry, there's a few things that we can still do to them in order to prep them. So first thing I want to do is take this off. It's like a weird carbon fibre effect piping thing. I don't know if it's actually needed. It's just something that came with the seats, and to be honest, it always falls off. So don't know if we'll be putting this back on, but we might. Another thing, I could pull it all away actually around the edge. That might make it a bit easier to just, you know, not have to worry about masking up as kind of neatly. But I think I'll mask up the leather anyway, just a bit, but I might peel that off. But I also want to take these sections off, so that comes off nice and easy, and then there's just 2 torque screws under here, and then I can take the front section off, which then lets me take the black section off. Now, like I mentioned before, the silver sections, they're probably not going to come off because I think I'll either have to cut that wire that is like holding them on or try to figure something else out. I might try do that, but I'm not too bothered about that right now. We'll see. We'll see as this video goes on, but I might take them off. If not, I'll just mask around it, it should be fine. I should be able to put some masking tape into this corner anyway, and it'll be fine. If it gets a bit black on it, it's not the end of the world, we want it black anyway, so yeah, we'll just go with it. You guys are set up again, I've got a T10, let's get these bolts out. And with both bolts out, we should be able to take off the front section now, which kind of just clips in a little bit. It's probably just a little stuck from since it was painted and then put on. There we go. Luckily nothing's broken on there as well. And now this section should just come off. I don't think there's any clips holding it on, but it's actually feeling like there is. So let me just quickly get them off on the other side. And there we go. That is this side off as well. I've decided I'm going to try and quickly peel back all this off the edges, just so that it's less likely to get covered in paint. And this corner is probably the hardest to do it in, but let's see if we can get everywhere else off. And then it'll just make things a bit easier. It's actually coming off quite nicely, and I don't know if that's a good thing because I feel like there's meant to be clips on here, but it doesn't seem like there is any clips at all, and appears to be tape on here as well, which is interesting. So this is my first time actually taking the seat apart, and what it looks like is someone's done a weird sort of repair on the foam there's a lot of black duct tape and what looks like some part of a microfiber cloth in here. I mean, on the outside you don't notice anything really with it. Anything wrong with that is, but yeah, that's a bit strange and concerning. Either way, they're comfy and they work fine. Now that this first seat is kind of looking ready to go, we're going to let it continue to dry a wee bit because, you know, it's not fully dry yet. I only did it about 5 minutes ago. And whilst that's happening, let's get this seat up to the same stage, which is taken off around the edge, and then we should be good. So as to not bore you, I will do that off camera and then we'll be back. So now we've got this seat done and this seat done. But this seat I actually took a bit further and put some tape around here, so now we need to do that on this seat because I didn't look into it. I wanted to put on some tape, and I just want to try and do this. If we want to do that at a later date, we can, but for right now I want to see how the dye goes on here, and mainly I want to just kind of let it dry because it's nice and warm right now, and I don't know what the weather will be like later because I live in Scotland, so it can change all the time. So yeah, I'd rather get these seats done faster and then can let them dry in the sun, and everything should look good. Hopefully, we'll soon see. So let's go ahead with getting this tape on here, and then we can move on to the next step. Taped up, cut up. Last thing to do is really just, you know, try out the dye. However, before that, I just want to highlight, you know, how disgusting this car looks in here. I had these seats out about 2 years ago, and I mean, even though there's like a rule of no eating in the car, somehow there's still food in the car. The car is just covered with crumbs, so once we have put the dye on these seats and we are letting them dry, we're going to hoover the interior, get that looking nice and fresh as well. Because what is the point of having 2 nice fresh seats and not a nice fresh car to put them back in? Now it's time to use the fabric coat, so let's get what we're going to use to do that. I've got like kind of applicator that I'm going to try and get the most of it on with, and then I think I'm going to try to find a brush or something that I'll just brush in for after, and should work. Well, I mean, we're going to find out, but I'm kind of wondering if I need to add some water to this. It doesn't say I need to, it says dampen the fabric, which I'll do, but kind of thinking I might add some water to this, just kind of loosen it up a wee bit, because I don't need it to be crazy thick. It's not like it's doing anything major, like turning this from white to black. It's just darken the shade of this, so I might try that, we'll see, but let's go. Gloves are now going on because obviously you do not want to do this without having some sort of protection on your hand. Just mainly because it'll make it easier to clean. So get the gloves on, and we're going to test it out on this section first actually. Right, that side turned out quite nicely actually, so just need to let it dry and keep brushing it every now and again so the Alcantara stays kind of fluffy. Let's try it on the back. We've got the pad here, I'm just going to rub it on. I'm going to try and do quite a light layer on here and kind of more dye opposed to just, you know, painting it right away. I think when I was doing it on the side I did it a bit heavy, so we'll try it a bit lighter, see how that works. So not too much on here, and then just lightly rub it in and try and get as much coverage as possible. I mean, already it's a massive difference to myself. On camera, I think it looks even more of a difference, just because you do really see the purple on there. But yeah, let me do all this seat, and then we'll be back. So much for wearing gloves. I've managed to somehow spray it up under the glove, which is nice. Now back with this brush just to kind of lift up the fibres on here and just kind of keep it still fairly soft so it's not all just kind of matted down. That is the first coat on the seat done, and I think it actually turned out pretty good. I'm actually kind of happy with how it is. I know I sound like surprised, but I mean, it cost me £9 off of Amazon for that bottle, and I've used maybe just over a quarter of it. It went on pretty good. I have done both sides of the seat, and I've actually done the passenger seat as well, so they are actually both looking done and just kind of letting them dry now. I keep going over it with a brush just to kind of help lift the fibres, but it's turned out pretty good. So here you go. As you can see where it's kind of like slightly wetter on here, and then that's just where I keep going over with the brush, and it'll just kind of make it all smooth. Obviously it's Alcantara, so it doesn't look like a smooth surface. That's why it kind of looks kind of all over the place and almost like the coating isn't even. It's just because, yeah, there you go, you can get a good view of the fibres itself. But yeah, I think this is definitely looking a lot better than what it was before. In person it actually looks basically black. I don't know if I will need to do another coat. Definitely looks a lot better, and once it's in the car I think this will look really good. But yeah, I'm just going to let them dry, and whilst that's happening I am going to clean the interior of the car so that is nice and fresh, ready for them to go back in. But whilst they're drying I'll just keep going over with the brush. I'll maybe update you if I need to touch up anything, but I think they're looking pretty good. So yeah, I'm going to carry on with kind of, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in the sun so then they dry a bit quicker because it is quite warm, so should do pretty good. And then yeah, we'll get on to cleaning the interior. Seats are now more in the sun and they look to be drying pretty good. I'll just need to keep going over with the brush, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with how they are looking so far. So let's move on to cleaning this interior because it is really bad. I'm not happy that it's got to this stage, but we will sort that today. So let's set up the camera and I'm going to get to hoovering. That is the interior of the car now clean and the seats are dry. This is how we are looking just now. Obviously you're seeing lines all over it because I've just brushed it all over the place, but it's looking pretty good and it's still very soft, which is nice. The thing I am happiest about though is the fact it's actually black and not that weird sort of burgundy colour, and it just didn't match anything in the interior, so now it's going to match stuff in there and I'm really excited to see how it looks. So to do that we are going to have to start taking all this tape off and then start putting the edge of the seat back in, and yeah, we'll do that and see how it looks. Last part is to get this back in, and we need to put in these little kind of washer things on the other side that holds this in place. So we did that from the front, these little guys here, so we will do this now. Now that that's in, we can get the front section back on, which is still red right now, but I might change that at a later date. I'm not too sure, to be honest. Let's just get these back together for now. Here, clicking into place, and then there's just 2 little screws. Get these both held in place, and now we can screw that in. Now these don't need to be crazy tight because they are just plastic on plastic, and if you do tighten it too much, it will strip it. Just enough to hold it in place, like that. Now we just need to get this wee cover on. The tape's off, the panels are clipped in, the edges are clipped in. It is only time to get them back in the car, and let's see what they look like. The car is clean, it is so ready for this. We just need to get these bolts out, and then we can get this chair back in the car. It's actually crazy how good this seat looks in this car. I know I still need to bolt it down, but I can't help but show you because it looks so good. Here we go. Obviously this section looks the same, but right down here, this is not purple anymore. It's actually black, and mainly from the back, it all looks black as well, which is lovely. Now let's get this job finished. Let's get this bolted in. We actually need to remember and put on the seatbelt bolt on the side. So yeah, that's easy to forget. So we need to do that first, and then we can put the seat back in position, then bolt it into the ground. So this bit's a little bit tricky to do just because this was something I had to make and kind of adapt when I originally put these seats together. Hopefully you can see this well enough. Basically all this section is to hold the seatbelt in. Most cars have it actually on the floor of the car, which is what I had in the M4, which these seats used to be in. But obviously the seat frames for the Recaros aren't made for this specific car. So I had to just modify this little bit, which was basically just screw in and tap a thread in here just so I could put the bolt in. It was pretty easy. It's just, obviously it's a bit finicky to get lined up. But once it is lined up, then you can just bolt it straight in and all is good in the hood. There we go, torqued down nicely. I heard the click, so I'm assuming you heard the click too. And obviously with that done, it now means that we can bolt this seat into the car and we're done. So removing this towel that helped me prop it up, now I can move the seat into position. Second last step to getting these chairs back in the car. Do this one, and then we've got another one over the other side. Get these tightened down, and then we should be all good to go. We are done. The seats are in. Actually, both seats are in because I've saved you the trouble of showing you the back bolts going in and the other seat. So now it's all done. So you get to feast your eyes on this right away. And like I said before, they look pretty much the same from the front, bar these bits here that you would see before, and it kind of had that purple burgundy sort of look. But the back just looks so much better now. Obviously, I do need to fix the silver bit, but I will do that another time. I'm just really happy that this is now black. Just kind of, it all ties in. Looks like it's meant to be there. And especially when you're sitting in the driver's seat, you can see the side of that seat, and it just looks so much better now. For like £9 off of Amazon, I think this job was absolutely worth it. Yes, it took a lot of time, and it's roasting today, as you can probably tell by my face. So yeah, with that being said, I am going to end the video here because that's done, and well, I'm going to enjoy the rest of the sun. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and hope you enjoyed. Hopefully see you in the next one. Thanks again. Bonus clip, I actually forgot to mention that I didn't put on the little kind of carbon fibre trims around the edges. They would go around these edges, just around here, and I'm really happy that I did not decide to put them back on because it looks like this has closed the gap even more, and it looks even better really, and it looks like it's going to stay on better because I always had to adjust it before. So I have no clue why the previous owner actually put them on. I don't know if they were meant to look good or something. They definitely didn't look good. I thought they had to be there, so I always left them. But yeah, they are gone now. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.